I am 82 years old. I've tried to write all this down over the years. That's why I've written 15 books, and I'm finishing up my 16th book now. And this meeting and this conversation will be in my 16th book, as other conversations are that I've had over the years. If I should die today or whenever, I want my people to know how to get to the economic battlefield. That's why I wrote the books. Because just like Dr. King, if he hadn't written down his words, I would have never picked up his book and read it and understood how to get our people to the economic battlefield. I know where the descendants of American slaves need to go. And I know how to get them there. And I know when we will arrive if we do what we're supposed to do. And that's why we're here today. We're hoping this message will reach someone who has the intelligence to understand what I'm saying here today. White businessmen taught me to think like they think. White businessmen took me aside and sit me down, and it took them some time, but they changed my whole mentality. And I wrote a book about that too. I have heard American slaves blaming President Trump for our problems. I would like to make this clear. Our problems started long before Donald Trump was even born. Our racial problems and economic starvations started long ago and are caused today by unaware, non-thinking leadership. Black leaders have no idea that they are misleading their people. They have yet to realize they are part of a people. Most black leaders might not heed this warning. They will probably think that I'm calling every black leader in America inadequate and ignorant except them. I want to make this clear, and I know it's going to come back at me, but I don't care. The truth has to be spoken. This message is directed at all wannabe black leaders who are descended from slavery. Who else must take the blame for American slaves' deplorable condition except slaves who are in leadership positions who think they're African Americans? Now, I take my share of the blame. It's my job to teach black leaders who they are. And trying to break through the ignorance that we inherited from slavery has taken a little time. But we haven't given up yet. We're still working on it. African Americans, by definition, description, and explanation, are immigrants. That needs to be thought about. It is public knowledge that real African Americans are natural-born citizens of Africa who immigrate to America to make money and improve their lifestyle. Now, here's how it works. Africans arrive in America, go through the Immigration Services Department, get certified as African Americans, and are steered to minority programs so they can develop themselves. America didn't breed African Americans. America bred slaves. The slaves belong to America. We are therefore American slaves. And after 400 years of slavery, we are ready to make our move to the economic battlefield. August 12th, 2019, I attended the Descendants of American Slave Ministerial Alliance in Kentucky. It was chaired by Dr. James Elliott and attended by Kentucky County Commissioner Kathleen Parks. At this meeting, they voted to start the first ever American Slave Chamber of Commerce. This would be a network that would be nationwide. Once I fully understood how politics worked in America, I promised I'd never vote again until there was something on the ballot that identified American slaves and benefited descendants of American slaves. Where I figured, why else would I vote? unless something was on the ballot that concerned me or my people. Black leaders have yet to understand that black politicians must demand something for their people in the name of their culture, or else their people won't ever get anything. See, our politicians never ask for anything for us. Well, because they don't know who they are, they don't know who we are, so they don't ask for anything for us. If black leaders don't wise up and understand who we are and understand that we are American slaves, we will be stuck right where we are forever, in inner city poverty, receiving welfare checks, and waiting for white folks' handouts. The American slave culture is being genocided through economic starvation. And those are things that we need to think about. But now, I'm going to start voting again. I'm announcing it today. I will start voting again. Because Marianne Williamson is campaigning to be president. She is the only presidential candidate that offered to help descendants of American slaves. She even called us by our proper name in the right sequence. She has a plan to help us, and I have a strategy how to implement her plan. After hearing Marianne Williamson explain that what she would do to help descendants of American slaves, why would even a confused slave who think they're African American vote for any other candidate? That's a question we must ask ourselves. After hearing this lady say what she would do to help descendants of American slaves, why would any African American who think they're African American, why would any slave who think they're African American vote for anybody else? These are things that we need to think about.